So, b'siyata d'shmaya, we're going to continue Ishtapchut HaNefesh. We are up to Dalet. עוד אמר לעניין התבודדות שהיה דרכו זיכרונו לברכה לזרז מאוד בזה להיות רגיל מאוד בהתבודדות לפרש שיחתו לפני השם יתברך בכל יום ויום. Nachman was very quick and very careful to make sure that every single day he had a session of התבודדות with Hashem, of alone time, one-on-one conversation with Hashem. ואפילו אם אין יכולים לדבר כלל, כשמדברים רק דיבור אחד, even if you don't have anything to say, you just have one word to say to Hashem. Again and again, thank you Hashem, thank you Hashem, thank you Hashem, thank you. That's all you can say. Or one complaint or whatever it is that you can say. גם כן טוב מאוד, it's very good. ואמר שאפילו אם אינו יכול לדבר רק דיבור אחד, יהיה חזק בדעתו, וידבר אותו דיבור כמה וכמה פעמים בלי שוב וערך. You have to be strong. Even if you only have one word to say to Hashem, say it again and again and again and again with no measure, no end. Keep saying that same word. It's known, Reb Natan talks about it a lot. If you don't know what to say in Hitbodedut, just say Ribbono Shel Olam, Ribbono Shel Olam, Ribbono Shel Olam, Master of the Universe, Master of the Universe, Master of the Universe. The more you understand that you're talking to the Master of the Universe, I promise you, your heart will open up at a certain point. But even if not, it could be that you come and you have only that one word. It's great. Say it though. No, not I'm going to say it 1,000 times. Say it until... יהיה חזק ואמיץ, be strong and courageous, וירבה לדבר אותו הדיבור פעמים אין מספר. You be strong, if that's the only words you have to say, you say it no limit, infinite times. עד שירחם עליו השם יתברך ויפתח פיו, until Hashem has mercy on you and opens up your mouth. And you'll be able to explain what it is that you're going through. How could we teach Reb Nachman's Torah without saying happy birthday? Happy birthday, Rabbeinu. 250 something years? 254? Who is this? Reb Nachman changed the whole entire world. All of us are sitting in this room only because of Reb Nachman. And we're all born 200 years after he died. Look at the power of a tzaddik. Baruch Hashem, and Mazal Tov too to Raphael.
It's my birthday too, because I'm named after Nachman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ayom.
In 25 days.
Ah, there you go. ואמר שהדיבור יש לו כוח גדול מאוד. Reb Nachman said speech has an immense power. כי הלא יכולים ללחוש על קנה שריפה שלא תוכל לירות. Reb Nachman says you could whisper at a gun and it won't shoot. There's a certain level of power of speech that you can just and shut things down in this world.
So like the same way someone's screaming at you like a lot of fire and a lot of anger, you just like whisper back and say,
just say Ribbono Shel Olam. And he nullified in a second. B'toshia. Yeah.
The dal is when there's nothing else but 33 vertebrae in the breath.
Hadal.
Yeah, chad.
Hey.
Because the one breath plus the 33 vertebrae of the spine is 34, which is dal. So when you just, that's it.
אז כשדיבר מזה, when Reb Nachman spoke about this, דיבר הרבה מהתבודדות, he spoke a lot about התבודדות, and he went very very long in this idea in a few different ways. וחיזק וזירז אותנו מאוד מאוד בזה להתחזק להרבות בהתבודדות. He talked to us a lot about this idea to strengthen ourselves in the idea of התבודדות בשיחה בינו לבין קונו. Not only התבודדות, which again does not mean talking to God, it means being alone. Secluding yourself and being alone with Hashem. And שיחה לבין קונו. And talking to Hashem. Those are two separate ideas that should be done together. One, everybody needs time alone in this world to just be alone with Hashem. But that doesn't always mean that it has to be you talking to Hashem. There's times where my wife and I can sit in the house for an hour and a half right next to each other and we don't say too much. And it's the best feeling in the world. So too, Hitbodedut doesn't always have to be, I have to talk to Hashem. No, you have to hang out with Hashem. And when you're really close with a person, sometimes you don't need words. And even after you've said all of your words, if you read Torah 52, like we did here, right? What's the point of Hitbodedut? What's the point of all of those words that you have when you're alone? To get to a point where you realize you don't even exist, and you're just back inside of Hashem, and you're just being, meaning the words stop at a certain point too. So it's okay. ואמר שרצונו שיהיה לנו כל היום כולו התבודדות, לבלות כל היום הזה. Reb Nachman said his dream would be that all of us, we just spend our whole entire day talking to Hashem. That each one of us goes and finds a tree in the forest and we just sit there all day long and we stay attached. אך לאו כל אדם יכול לקיים זאת, but not everybody could do this. על כן בהכרח לצוות להם, שיהיה להם על כל פנים איזה שעות התבודדות. We can't all do this to spend the whole entire day in attachment to Hashem. So we each have to make sure that we have a little bit of time that we dedicate every day to התבודדות, and that's also very, very good. אבל מי שליבו חזק בזה, whoever's strong in this idea though, ורוצה לקבל עליו עול לעבודתו, and you want to receive upon yourself the yoke of the service of Hashem, truthfully, רצונו שיהיה לו כל היום התבודדות. The will is that your whole entire day should be התבודדות, seclusion with Hashem. And that can happen in an office, in a shul, in a yeshiva, in this world. You can be completely walking through the streets of this world and talking to people and be in a state of התבודדות. והזכיר מאמר חכמינו זכרם ברכה, הלוואי שיתפלל האדם כל היום כולו. It says in מסכת ברכות, הלוואי, if only it would be that a person could be in a state of tefillah all day long. By the way, להתפלל also means to be connected. It doesn't mean necessarily to pray. So a person spends his whole entire day in tefillah, it doesn't mean he's talking all day long. Tefillah like tefillin, attachment, dveikut with Hashem. So that was ishtabchut nefesh. Now we're going to like mishivat nefesh for a little bit. במקומות הנמוכים מאוד ורחוקים מאוד מהשם יתברך, שם דייקה מלובש חיות גבוה מאוד בחינת סתרי תורה, על כן מי שנפל מאוד חס ושלום צריך שידע זאת ששם מקומות דייקה יכול להתקרב להשם יתברך. We did this last time, just to remind it again, that the deeper a person falls, the light that's inside that depth of that falling is the light of the secrets of the Torah. And the deeper the fall, the deeper the light of Torah that is there. And you can connect to Hashem specifically from those depths of hell that you find yourself in. Because there's such a high level of chayut, of vitality, keeping that place in existence, that there's the ability there also to connect from it. Chab, we talked earlier when we were talking, taking out the garbage versus putting on tefillin in the morning. What's holier? If Hashem's the same Hashem, so then obviously tefillin is holier, right? We're not gonna, one's a mitzvah and the other is something you have to do in the world. But in your mindset, Hashem is behind both actions, right? So if a person falls in sin and they get to a very, very dark place, that place exists without Hashem? It's not in Hashem's world, or it's still part of Hashem's creation? It's still part of Hashem's creation, but it's a disgusting, dirty place that covers up the light of Hashem. Meaning there's a lot of layers covering up the light of Hashem, but the light of Hashem is there. And what kind of light of Hashem could go down to bring life to such a disgusting, dirty, detached place? Only the most powerful light possible. Only the most intense, deepest secrets that even there Hashem exists, that's deep Torah. Even in a place like that Hashem is there, that's extremely deep secrets. So the light that's behind all of the places you find yourself falling to is so powerful. It's such deeper secrets of the Torah that you have no excuse to say, oh, I'm in such a dark place, there's no way to get out of here. The deepest ideas could come out of you overcoming that challenge. Go ahead.
Can we use what you said in your last class so that we are like, even the darkest place is inside that Hashem?
Everything is there.
Yeah, because everything's inside the
Correct, but what are we saying here? Tefillin. When you wake up in the morning, you put on tefillin.
Yeah.
So it's a mitzvah, outright. So there's not so much concealment on the light of Hashem. It's clear it's a mitzvah. So you're meant to grow from that. But when a person falls and finds himself after a very horrible sin, and they say, oh, look where I am right now. I have nothing to connect to Hashem from here. I have nothing to grab onto. I'm in such a place of concealment. No. If you make tshuva from that place, you're going to reveal the deepest secrets that are inside the Torah. Meaning, the light of Hashem is present there. Meaning, you have no excuse to stay there. There is enough light, and not only enough light, it's the deepest light possible. You should be able to get out of there. Like we said before also, there's a certain level of negating the eating, and then there's a level of the Baal Shem Tov where eating is the highest level of Avodat Hashem you could do. Torah 62, Rabbi Nachman. Eating is face to face with Hashem. Yichud panim bepanim. That's it's a crazy yichud to make. But what do? You're eating a hamburger and you're making yichud panim bepanim with Hashem? Bracha is one thing, and then there's the mindset afterwards, and the chewing down and the breaking down of the food. There's a lot of things that go into the birur, the clarification of food. But eating became one of the highest things you could physically do. And spiritually. But that same eating could be the worst thing you could do. That same eating could be the thing that pulls your mind away from Hashem. So it really depends. But one thing that the Reb Nachman is coming to teach us here is that the places you fall, that the worse it seems, the more potent the Torah is that's hidden inside there, bringing the light of Hashem that's bringing existence to that place is super powerful. Yudalet, im mitorer adam litshuvah. If a person arouses himself or wakes up to do tshuva, אזי כשהוא רוצה להיכנס בעבודת השם, לנסוע לצדיק, מתגבר עליו בכל פעם יצר הרע יותר גדול, על כן צריך בכל פעם התגברות ביותר. Person becomes about tshuva, and they're growing, and they want to come travel to the true tzaddik, meaning they want to approach that point inside of them, and inside the holy people of the world that is going to connect them more to Hashem. They want to take the next step to take the relationship deeper. And what happens? The Yetzer Hara attacks as strong as possible, with a new renewal, a new attack. Neged היצר הרע החדש, you have to fight against היצר הרע as well. ומזה בא מה שלפעמים נתעורר האדם לנסוע לאנשי אמת, יש לו תשוקה גדולה, ואחר כך כשמתחיל לנסוע נחלש חשקו. Sometimes a person wants to go to the tzaddik and they're excited to go to a holy thing, or a holy person, a holy place, anything that's going to connect them. And as they start to travel and to start to actually take those steps towards that holy thing, all of a sudden the desire gets turned down 70%. What happened? Before I got on the bus, I was so excited to go see the tzaddik. Now that I got on the bus, all of a sudden why did I do this? Maybe I'll get up on the next stop and just turn around. What's happening? לפעמים כשבא לצדיק בעצמו נופל מתשוקתו לגמרי. Sometimes you show up to the tzaddik and boom, completely you don't even want to be there. Completely the desire left you. כל זה נמשך מבחינה הנ"ל. All of this comes from what we talked about before. That is, that every level you get to, you have new attacks. You have new things coming at you. So now you made a decision, I'm going to become holy, I'm going to go attach myself to a holy person, to a holy thing. You're going to get attacked again. But you have to overcome it. כי תכף שנתעורר לנסוע לצדיק האמת, אזי אמית יצרו הרע. The second you decided that you're going to go to the tzaddik emet, to the true tzaddik and have a meeting with him, to be around him, to pray with him, to learn from him, the second you made that decision, you killed the Yetzer Hara inside of you. Before taking a step, when you made the decision, I'm going to that holy place, you immediately killed your Yetzer Hara. ואחר כך, כשרוצה לנסוע, נתעווה לו יצר הרע חדש. The second now you get on the bus, you take the step, you go towards that tzaddik, you have birth of a brand new Yetzer inside of you. But it's way stronger than what it was before. הגדול מחברו, יצרו גדול ממנו. Right? Whoever, as you grow, your Yetzer Hara grows with you. So whenever you want to come closer to Hashem truthfully, you need to strengthen yourself every single time against this new Yetzer Hara that will be aroused against you. Because that's the way of life. You're here on this level, you have aspirations, okay, now start to act on those aspirations. You're going to deal with the opposition and the test of that level. You want to stay on level 1, you're going to have level 1 problems. If you try to get to level 2, you have to get level 2 problems. That's how life goes. Go ahead.
This is what Rabbeinu is saying, that the closer you get to Hashem, the stronger the opposition is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly what he's saying. And not only that, not only is the stronger opposition, he's saying that, and in another way to understand it deeper, when I made the decision to grow, I already completed the level I was on. I killed the Yetzer Hara, the level that I was at, and I'm now tapping into my goal of becoming a holy person. Now that was the decision though. The first step I take in actually accomplishing that, I give birth to a brand new opposition, a brand new Yetzer Hara that comes inside of me, but on the higher level. So my decisions to do holy things kill all of the opposition that I had on the level that I was at, but with that comes new tests and new levels of recognition. This is what it says. This is what it says, that a person, a Baal Tshuva, can get married to a woman to the point where she needs a get just by saying, "Arei at mekudeshet almanat shani tzaddik." You are sanctified to me by way of me being a tzaddik. The guy never kept Shabbat in his life. If he says that sentence, she needs a get. Why? Shema yirer b'tshuva. Maybe he thought in his mind he actually did full tshuva, and then they're actually married. The marriage is on condition. You are married to me if I'm a tzaddik. The thought, the rabbis say, the sentence that he just said was enough of a thought to make him the tzaddik. Never kept Shabbat in his life. This happened on a Tuesday. He died Thursday without even keeping Shabbat. He's buried with all the people that kept Shabbat.
What exactly did he say again?
Arei at mekudeshet li al manat shani tzadik. Right? How does a person get sanctified now? A woman gets sanctified. The husband gives her a ring. Right? The ring is the sign that you are now sanctified to me. But what if a person's broke? So this is something that you can actually do. You can come say, I'm going to dedicate my life to be a Talmid Chacham, to be a Tzaddik, and that is the kinyan, that is the thing that, by way of that, I'm sanctifying you. Chazal gives the example of a person that's completely not a Tzaddik. He just said that. You are sanctified to me by way of the fact that I'm going to be a Tzaddik. Meaning, he's now making a commitment, I'm going to go to the Beit Midrash and become a Tzaddik. Rabbi Akiva. If he said that, before doing any action, she's already chayav on a get. But wait, he said, you're married to me if I become a tzaddik. If he thought, right now in his mind, any thought of regret and anything he did in the past, and he made a decision in his mind that moving forward now he's a tzaddik, he is a tzaddik at that moment. She has to get a get if she wants to get divorced.
But why does she need to give a get if she's promising to get
If she wants to stay married, she doesn't need a get. Saying now she's essentially married. Without him doing anything, they're already married. There is no condition. You get what I'm saying? If I go to a girl and I say, we are married as soon as I give you this cup. So then I need to give her the cup for us to be married. But if I tell her, we're married because I'm a tzaddik and I've never done anything righteous in my life, how are we married? Rabbi said you're married immediately because if he thought in his mind, if there's even a doubt in his mind that he thought he's a true tzaddik and he regrets everything that was and he's going to take upon himself to be righteous from now, he already now is a tzaddik. You guys are married. She needs a get if she wants to get a divorce. It's that strong your mind without doing a step, without doing anything. So that's what Reb Nachman is saying. You made the decision, I want to become holy, I want to go to the true tzaddik. You already killed your Yetzer Hara. But you're going to get a brand new one the first step you take. And you know that you have to get over that one. You have to overcome him now. But don't think it's the same level. Oh, I already got over my anger. I already made the decision I'm going to go to the tzaddik. I already made the commitment to do that mitzvah for that person. Yeah, that was in the mochin. And at that moment, you did the right thing and you reached the level of a tzaddik and you killed your opposition inside of you. Now that's when you go to try to achieve it, Sammy is going to come back on a new level with new weapons. Be prepared. Sometimes Reb Nachman just gives us the knowledge of what's happening inside. How do you overcome it? He talked about it in the past. You give tzedakah, you increase the consciousness of Hashem in the world. Hodul Hashem kiyu v'shmo. There's a whole bunch of different topics there. But B'ezrat Hashem, may we all know that we're in a battle. We're all growing. We aspire to grow. Our desire is to see our King. And if we want that, so we have to get through all of his guards and all of the troubles and the moat around the castle and everything that, so to say, is preventing us from getting there. It's all an illusion in the mind. B'ezrat Hashem.
Yeah.